Hey, this is Robert Monroe, and I just wanted to give you a quick update on what we're up to, and then also just talk to you guys a little bit about some ideas that I had that might be helpful to all of you. So, first of all, one of the first things you might notice is I'm in a different place, and that's because we made a little studio inside our bedroom so that the kids don't bother us while we're teaching lessons online and doing different work. I'm also trying to explore a lot of live streams because, again, I see that as a good way to get out there, and also been throwing down tip information to try to make up for some of the lost money that I would generally get performing. Back here you see this wonderful portrait of David Bowie. That is who I'm going to be covering on Saturday, so tune in on Saturday, this Saturday at 5:30 Central Time, and I will be doing some David Bowie. Well, I want to get into the main topic today, which is saying yes. Now, I was thinking about this because some people were talking to me about positions that they wanted to apply for, and they didn't have the experience required for these positions. And I was just thinking about the fact that you never have the experience you need when you're trying to get the job that you want. It's generally something later in your career, you end up having all this experience and all these different layers of expertise, and then you can pick and choose. But when you're starting out or you're switching careers, you don't have the experience. So what do you have to do? You just have to try. You have to go, okay, yes, I'm going to fill out an application. I'm going to send it in. They might go, nope, you don't have the experience and not want you. But chances are they probably are willing to at least hear you out and get an idea of whether it's a good fit. Because the truth of the matter is, nobody has the experience built in. We all learn the experience on the job, basically. In my own world, where you're doing more gigging work instead of applying for a specific job, people ask you all the time. They'll go, hey, could you play bass? I'm not a bass player, I'm a piano player. What I say to that is, sure, I'll play bass. Now, here's a few things. I do have a bass. I do generally know at least what to do with it and what role it fulfills, but I'm not a bass player. So then I have to sit down, I have to shed, I have to do my best. But at the end of the day, I'm going to try. Why? Because if I do that, that's an experience that I learn from, and that's income that I'd be missing out on otherwise. And this is true. I played guitar on a choir concert once. I am not a guitarist, but they wanted for one song guitar, they were going to hire somebody else for it. I was like, oh, I know how to play guitar. And so I popped in and played it. Now you might be going, isn't that misleading? Isn't that leading people astray, kind of misrepresenting yourself? Well, no. If you really try and push yourself, you find that there's a lot of things that you actually can do pretty well that you don't think that you really can. I've done Mardi Gras gigs where basically we're playing carnival music. I didn't know going into it even really what carnival music was. I was familiar with other Latin traditions, but I didn't generally have an idea. So what did we do? We Googled it. The internet is a great resource. We found all sorts of cool charts as to what we could run through, and we played it. It was me and a buddy who played percussion, and we just jammed out. This actually same contact led us to make music for a play that they were doing. They had no music written down, and the funny thing is, we didn't write any ideas either. We attended 2 rehearsals, we improvised with the play, and then we did that music. Now, right then and there is no way that you could have the expertise or the knowledge that they wanted, because the honest truth is they didn't know what they wanted. They just had a general idea of a need, and we said, hey, we can fulfill that need. And so we basically created a gig for ourselves. And this is what my point is about. You need to say yes. I will level with you. The reason why a lot of you don't say yes is because you're afraid. You're worried. You're worried about failing. The fear of failure is in us all. It always is. When I've been doing these live streams, it really worries me that I'm going to have some memory blip, something happen that I'm not going to be able to recover from in the flow. Now, you might be going, but you perform all the time. The thing with performance is you're in front of an audience and it's something that's scheduled way ahead of time. Live stream, sometimes you're just like, I'm just going to go live and try this out. A little bit more spontaneous. You might not have prepared as much. And also, there's no audience to feel off of, to vibe off of. Sometimes when you're in a performance setting and you have people right there, you might play a song for another 4 or 5 minutes because you see they're into it and enjoying it. So it's a whole different thing getting that vibe there. But I don't let the fear stop me. What I do is I evaluate and go, okay, let's say I really bomb. Let's say I just completely crash and burn. What's the worst that's going to happen? And even that is a little extreme. Are you really going to crash and burn? No. If you have the least bit of experience in whatever you're doing, in music, performance, art, whatever, you're not going to crash and burn. You might have some mistakes. You might have some memory slips. I was doing a live stream. Somebody asked for Bach. I started playing and I went, hey, I need to start this over again. I was having a memory slip. Let me just try it over again. And then was able to play it all the way through. That level of honesty and that level of just humanness is actually reassuring to people. People like that. Now, let me just quickly go through things you should let people know and things you should not let people know. And this sounds a little bit weird. I'm really kind of a fan of honesty, but you kind of have to not mislead people, but you have to be professional and only give them things to worry about that are important. So let's do a quick example that's really common. You're going to be late somewhere that you're going. Well, if you're going to be 5 minutes late and you know it's not that big of a deal, you probably don't say anything because they're just going to worry about it. Now, let's say you have a conflict ahead of time and you know weeks ahead of time that there's going to be a conflict and you're going to be 30 minutes late for sound check. You let them know immediately, right away. The reason why I bring up the late model is this goes right along with saying yes. So, for example, somebody asked me, hey, can you play bass for this? And I know in my head, I'm going to do a pretty good job. Like, not as great as if I was a bass player, but I'm going to do a competent job at this. I am not going to tell them I'm not a bass player. I'm not going to tell them, hey, I haven't picked up a bass in months. I'm going to go, yeah, I can totally do it. And I'm going to practice. I'm going to spend a lot of time that they do not see preparing for the gig so that I'm ready. This is true of a lot of things. Now, there are exceptions to this. Sometimes somebody's your buddy and they're your friend and they're asking you, hey, could you do this for me? You might just want to go, hey, you know what? I might not be the top pick for this. I know I can do a competent job, but I am just going to level with you. I think you might be better off taking somebody else. Maybe you don't have very much time. Hey, I don't have very much time right now. I will do my best, but to be honest, you might want to go with somebody else. These are all really good ways to be honest and upfront and still say yes, but give them the context. Now, when I'm saying say yes, I'm saying say yes when it makes sense. Let's say somebody is lowballing you. I generally try to go with a give everybody one chance or one idea of working with them because you never know the situation. Sometimes people just want to try somebody out and then they will let them in on the bigger opportunities that may make more money and other things. But at the end of the day, you say yes in full conscience that you're going to do a good job. So here's an example. Let's say they give you too little money for you actually to be able to prepare well for it because they're not paying you enough to practice or go to rehearsals. You just got to level with them. You got to go, hey, for that amount of bread, I can show up and that's what you'll get. And go, I need this, $100 more to do a rehearsal or something. Just level with them. So let me just summarize this up. First, say yes. Don't let the fear of failure stop you. It's never as bad as it seems inside your head. Give yourself that second to think it through and then say yes. The second thing is, how much details are you sharing to the clients, to the people around you? This is an inner dialogue you have to have, and you have to be smart with it. How close am I to this person? Will they understand the whole context? Or will they just go off on a side thing and go, well, I'm not hiring that person anymore. Let me know what you're thinking about this idea. Share this with a friend of yours who might be worried about failing, might be worried about different things going on. And comment below about your experience about saying yes to something and the experience that you got and the money or the enjoyment that you got from a new thing that you can do. And just hope everybody is staying healthy, and I will see you guys soon.